Welcome back everyone, hope y'all doing well. In this video, I'll be teaching you a very old but very popular strategy. That's right, it is PEKKA Smash. So without further ado, let's jump into the composition. Before I start, if you guys are familiar with the esports scene, you guys will be familiar with one name, Max. This player from Elevate is extremely talented. He revolutionized the Root Rider attack twice with the RC Charge into Root Riders, with the Warden having the Healing Tome and the Rage Gem with the double overgrowth. Then he revolutionized it again recently by doing a Warden Charge using the Angry Jelly, and he got tons of value, and compared to the RC Charge value, it's completely worth it. It is completely worth it. You use less spells for it. You don't have to use 7 space of spells, which is 5 invisibility spells and a recall for your RC. Now we can just use 4 spells in total, 2 invis and a rage spell just to support your Warden. In this example, I don't have an invis spell. I just have 1 rage spell just to support and boost the healing of the Warden, and that's all I need for this attack. Honestly, it's just a small support. It's just a small setup that I'm doing with the Angry Jelly. So inspired by Max's strategy with the Warden and Angry Jelly, I'll be using this technique, and I'll be using another technique which is way more popular, which is the kill squad with the log launcher and the queen. So that's what I'm going to do, and it works perfectly with this strategy. It's also kind of poetic to know that before, when people were using the PEKKA Smash strategy, we would do a small setup with the Warden Charge. So it kind of fits in a way. Without further ado, let's jump into the troops. Because we're doing a kill squad, I have 1 golem. The golem will help to tank for the log launcher and for the queen. I also can use a skeleton spell just in case, which I'm going to talk later on. Because I'm doing a Warden Charge with the Angry Jelly, I'm going to have 5 healers and 3 Cocooloons, which I can use 1 or 2 for my initial Warden Charge. Then, the star of the show, Pekkas and Super Wizards. I use 3 Pekkas. They help to deal tons of damage as well as tanking, and 5 Super Wizards because they help to destroy the base inside, especially the core. I have 2 wall breakers. I can use it for my log launcher if needed, or obviously with my main pack of Pekkas and Wizards. I have 1 Apprentice Warden to boost the health of my Pekka and the Super Wizards, which is going to be very useful. I have 3 Headhunters to deal with any types of defensive heroes, especially during the Warden Charge. It's going to be very useful. I have 1 Yeti, 1 Baby Dragon, and 1 Valkyrie, which will help to clean up the trash defenses or trash buildings, which is going to be very useful. Then after, for cleanup, I have 2 Wizards and 2 Archers. Because this attack is quite fast, you don't really need much cleanup, so that's why I'm just using 2 Wizards and 2 Archers. For the spells, I've decided to use 1 Earthquake spell to help cripple the wall and the defenses, as well as trash buildings, obviously, in the pathing of the log launcher. It'll help to cripple heavy hitting defenses or very tanky ones, and with the help of the giant arrow, which I'm going to talk later on with the Archer Queen, the kill squad will be extremely valuable. I have 2 skeleton spell. 1 will be used with the log launcher, and the second one can be used with the main push, just in case you need to negate any types of heavy hitting defense like the geared up defense or the monolith. I have 1 jump spell. Even though the Pekkas are able to destroy walls extremely quickly, especially under the rage gem, you still need a jump spell to path those troops in the right compartment, because that could make the difference of tripling or failing your attack. I have 1 free spell just in case I need to freeze any types of defense that can be really painful for my main push. I have 1 ice block spell, which is very useful just in case my super wizards are taking so much damage, which will die normally. So just 1 ice block spell and everything is negated and they will survive. With the healing spells, which I'm going to talk right now, I have 2 healing spells. They'll be used with the Grey Warden's Eternal Tome, and one of them can be used either earlier or later. I recommend later. But because you have a Rage Gem and not a Healing Tome, it's very important to use your Eternal Tome, and thereafter you can delay later just a little bit the Healing Tome, but use it after like 2 or 3 seconds of waiting to heal back your Super Wizards back to health. It's going to be very important, especially in the core where they're very vulnerable to dying anything basically. For the Siege Machine, because I'm doing a kill squad, I'm going to use the Log Launcher. Very simple. The logs will start and cripple those walls and defenses and trash buildings, and with the next update, with the wall HP being nerfed, the Log Launcher kill squad will be extremely powerful. So I really recommend to anyone to try this. Now for the CC, I have 3 Yetis and 1 Goblin as a filler. Those Yetis can be able to destroy the core just a little bit. You put a rage spell on them if you want, but I really recommend to keep the rage spell for your healers to boost dramatically automatically the healing for your super wizards as well as the damage for them. And obviously one poison spell to deal with any types of enemy CC. Now up to the heroes. The king. The king will be put with the main push. Basically, I'm putting him with the Phoenix. That way he can get revived and get more value with more tanking. The Earthquake Boots to open up the core. And the Spiky Ball to deal more damage overall. He's going to be very important. He can use either earlier his Earthquake Boots ability or later on. I'd recommend later on if you can, but if you have to do it early, do that. Don't use your Earthquake Boots at the same place as your jump spell, or else you're going to lose good value. For the queen, I decided to pair her with Frosty because the frost lines are very important. They help mitigate damage. They help to distract certain defenses, especially with the frost mites. With 3 frost mites, it's going to be very good. The giant arrow will be able to cripple certain walls and trash buildings as well as defenses that will aid for your log launcher. As well with the earthquake spell, it's going to pair extremely well. Basically in the pathing of the log launcher, nothing can survive. So I really recommend to get the town hall with it. For the warden, like I talked earlier, I want to use Max's new Warden Charge trick, which is paired him with the Angry Jelly as well as the Rage Gem and the Eternal Tome. Obviously, if you're doing Root Riders, you can pair the Healing Tome instead, but for this attack, the Eternal Tome is way more useful. He's going to clear off defenses, that way it's going to create a very good pathing for your main push. And last but not least, I have the RC. The RC, I had a hard time trying to figure out what to do with her, and with some testings, I figured out that she can actually be used quite well on the side of the base, siding alongside the main push, which is a little bit weird to say basically, because you kind of want to send your main push obviously in the core, but your RC, you want her on the side. Actually, it's kind of simple to understand, but it can look weird during your attack. It could be unorthodox, but it works perfectly with this attack. So that was the composition. Let's jump into planning. For the planning, it's not going to be too hard. It's going to be different, but not too hard. So with Max's new Warden Charge trick with the Angry Jelly, I need to create a small pathing. Once that's cleaned up, or during this time, I'm going to send my long launcher and hopefully destroy the town hall. So the long launcher would probably go there with the kill squad and the archer queen. Then after, I'm going to send my main push right in the core, so probably like, let's say here. And then after, I'm going to send my RC on the side and path around to destroy defenses on the side to remove a lot of pressure for my main push. So that being said, let's jump into planning. The Warden Charge with the Angry Jelly is going to target those defenses right there. He's going to do some good cleanups right here, right there. Might go even to the scatter shot, which is actually pretty good. And then after, he might be done with the Angry Jelly. Now, while that's happening, you want to do a quick but very effective kill squad. So I'm going to send my golem first right here. You can also send maybe like a Yeti right here to create some good pathing for your queen, because once you send your queen right here, she's going to send her giant arrow through the base, and you want to hit those targets. Those are very important targets. And speaking of those targets, you want to send an earthquake right here so that they cripple those health. If you can path your queen with the main push, do this, but you're not obliged to. Now the long launcher will create some good pathing. The golem will tank. If you need to, you can place a skeleton spell right here. Obviously, you don't need to. Maybe like if you want right here, protect your log launcher and your troops inside, which are going to be your Yetis when they're going to pop out. They're going to destroy this area. So the town hall is very secured right now. Now the warden has done his funnel right here, as well as the kill squad doing his funnel right there. All right, so that's like kind of the funnel. And now you have a good pathing. Okay, you can see if you go to the core, you can easily go there. So what you want to do is, if you need to, create a small funnel. Let's say a baby dragon right there. And then after, you want to send, let's say 3 Pekkas right there. They're going to path here. If you want to, you can send your king right here. And then after, you want also to wall break this area. Don't forget that you need to destroy those buildings, but hopefully the queen will do that. And then after, you can send all your super wizards behind, and all of your troops will be able to path inside the base, and it will be very strong. Now in this plan, we can see where the giant bombs are. Be careful of them, because in a lot of bases, especially the competitive one, it is to counter any types of RC charges, but in here it will definitely destroy any types of super wizards. But thankfully, because the super wizards are ranged troops and the Pekkas are not, the Pekkas will most likely take the bombs before the super wizard had the chance to take the damage from it. So that being said, once your main push has started right here with the Pekka, with your K, with the apprentice warden, the warden following, as well as the healers transferring to them, once they arrive around this area, you can send your RC on the side, like right here, and then you can path around. You can even send a skeleton spell if you still have one remaining, maybe one here. It's going to disable this ricochet cannon, as well as this defense geared up. So right here, yours is going to be fine. And then after, you can pop her rocket spear if needed right there, that she can destroy those defenses around, especially this multi-inferno tower and this geared up defense. You can use your ability of your king right here in the middle, or if you can, use a jump spell and wait until you're more at the back to use your king's ability. I think that's going to be more worth, but be careful with it. You don't want to be too greedy. Don't forget to place some healing spell, especially with those poison spell tower, which are going to be very dangerous. But once you place your healing spell, you should be fine to keep your super wizards alive. Be very careful. They are glass cannon, but very brittle glass. They will die to any types of giga bomb or heavy hitting defense, or if left unattended, of course, like any types of fire spitters shooting at them and the healers are not healing them. Don't forget, you also have an ice block spell just in case they're taking too much damage. That way they can get healed back to full health and give them another chance to fight inside the core. Now they'll be able to spread right here once they're at the back, and this is the time where you don't really need any types of super wizards. Like, they already done their job, they've destroyed the core, and you should be left with pretty much a lot of P.E.K.K.A.s, which I guess you'll be left with 2, 3 if you're lucky, so all of them. But you'll be able to have some cleanup troops around, place there, maybe here a wizard, maybe 2 archers right there, and the P.E.K.K.A. will naturally be able to tank for those cleanup troops, so you can be a little bit more versatile with it, and that's basically the plan. So it's not too bad. The new Warden Charge with the Angry Jelly trick is actually pretty useful. It is very strong. The kill squad, obviously it's always strong, but you need to take down the town hall. It is very crucial. It is one of the most deadly weapon against this strategy. But if the town hall is down, this strategy can be very strong. Now be careful. You need to use your ice block spell. You need to be careful with your healing spell, with your eternal tome if needed, with your second healing spell as well. You gotta be extremely careful and precautious with this strategy because, like I said earlier, super wizards are extremely frail. Now they're going to get a buff very soon, but only in terms of damage, meaning that this strategy can work even better. I still think this strategy works quite well. It's just that you have to take a very good precaution for your super wizards. But other than that, that's the plan. Very easy. So Warden Charge with Angry Jelly. While that's happening, you want to do a kill squad and remove the town hall. Then after, you want to send your main push, your king, your super wizards, your P.E.K.K.A.s, etc. And once they arrive a little bit here, where they're getting close to finish the area, passing from right here, the value of the warden, you can send your RC pathing alongside and helping destroy those defenses that can be very deadly for your main push, relieving a lot of pressure. Don't forget about your skeleton spell, don't forget about your clearing troops, and you should be fine. So that being said, let's jump into the attack. Like always, I'm going to showcase the attack at 1 time speed, just to show you how the flow of the attack looks like and what to do. Then after, I'm going to explain the same attack, but more in detail. If you want to skip this part, I'm going to put a timestamp and you can skip to it. Without further ado, let's start the attack. So, well, before I'm going to show my equipment, that's the equipment that I use. That's for the king, that's for the queen, and that's for the RC. So other than the Eternal Tome, you can see the other equipments are quite low level, but that just proves that this strategy works quite well. If you have max equipment, it's going to work even better. So let's jump into the attack. let's remind ourselves that we need to do an Angry Jelly, Warden Charge. Then after, while that's happening, we're going to send our Kill Squad Long Launcher with only our Queen. And once the Angry Jelly wears off, and if you're finished with all your value, then send your main push. And while that's happening, once they go a little bit further in the base, you want to send on the side the RC. So let's start the attack. So right here, I've decided to send a baby dragon on this workshop to help and aid the pathing for, let's say, my Yetis inside the Kill Squad log launcher. So I send my Queen. I send, of course, the skeleton spell in first to help tank the ricochet cannon to keep the golem alive as long as possible. I'm going to shoot my giant arrow. Hopefully, I'm going to hit the town hall, which is the target. In this example, I've kind of missed the town hall. It could happen, but I still have the earthquake spell, and this is pretty much impossible to miss. You just put it in the middle, and it's going to hit the town hall. It's going to hit this ricochet cannon, and is going to hit this X-bow. While that's happening, my Warden, you need to keep a keen eye on him just in case he goes further, like let's say this RC, and you need to rage him, or you need to place a headhunter. I decided to send a Yeti just to support the golem and hopefully to destroy this ricochet cannon to help my log launcher to be alive. Right here, I've decided to send a headhunter to deal with this annoying RC, and if I didn't do that, my Warden would have just died or go into auto ability, which is not good. There's a CC. I've decided to use the poison spell on top of the furnaces. That's what you want to do. So you don't care about these archers anywhere, they're just going to die to the log shots. But the furnaces, very important that you use a poison spell on top of them, even if there's just one. They're very annoying. They deal so much damage. They cripple your attack so much, especially with the super wizards, which they don't have a lot of health. Or even worse, you healers. Then it is extremely important place that poison spell on top of the furnace. So the angry jellyfish effect wears off, and now I'm going to send my wall breakers to open this compartment to go inside the core, and then after I'm going to send my main push. Luckily, the queen looks like she's going with the main pack, so that's an extra bonus. That's the value, and honestly, the Yetis right here, they're going to finish off this town hall. I'm not scared about it. I've decided to send my 3 Pekkas, my king, then after, right behind, I'm going to send all of my super wizards, so 5 of them. And then after, I'm going to send my Cocoloons just to protect the healers further. I've decided to use a heal spell just to prevent any types of damage. I could have waited just a little bit, but I guess I was just a little bit scared. Then after I used my Eternal Tome because I was arriving to a heavy hitting defense area like this Fire Spitter, this Crusher Mortar, those are very dangerous. Those 2 enemy heroes, even 3 right here. Well, she's targeting the skeleton, maybe this king as well. But there's a lot of heavy hitting defenses that can actually cripple and kill very fast your super wizards. So better be safe than sorry. A heal spell, the Warden ability, totally fine. And while that's happening, I should have sent my RC a little bit earlier right here, but I think I kind of forgot. So I've just decided to send her in this area where the PEKKA Smash is. So it's not too bad. I just need to come back to this area later on, which I can easily do that. It's a very fast attack, relatively speaking. So the RC, she's going to destroy those buildings, helping greatly to reduce the damage on your main push. I've used another heal spell, but as you can see, everything works perfectly. The first Warden Charge, a little bit, those defenses right here, all destroyed to create a nice pathing. Then after, the Kill Squad Log Launcher is going to destroy the Town Hall. And then after, sandwich between those value, I'm going to send my PEKKA Smash. And right outside of it, which is like an extra layer, I'm going to send my RC to help and support the inside, which is kind of like a nice support. They help each other. The RC is not taking too much damage, which is good, and she's destroying those defenses. With the Spirit Fox as well, she's getting protected further. It's just a perfect combo, both of them. I decided to use my ice block right here because I thought that I was taking too much damage, and I think that was a good idea because right behind there's the Warden shooting this enemy queen and this fire spitter eventually, meaning that my troops right here are tanking forever and they're getting healed back, meaning that the archer queen and the fire spitter are not going to kill my troops. And don't forget, I have a level 4 ice block spell, meaning it's not the max. So imagine if you're maxed with this spell, it's going to be way better. So as you can see, all of my super wizards are dead, but like I said in the planning, it doesn't really matter at this point because they've already done their jobs quite well. They've destroyed the core very fast. They've support your main push like the P.E.K.K.A.s right here and your king. You see your king is still quite healthy. I use my ability right here to open up the core and to damage and cripple certain buildings or trash buildings right here. And now it's all about beating the clock, and like I said, you have so much time. It's such a fast attack. You'll be good. So that was the attack. Very fun, very nostalgic, very useful, very powerful as well. But keep a very keen eye, of course, on your Warden when he's doing the Warden Charge, because you don't have an invisibility spell to help him. Of course, you have a rage, but you don't want to use the rage spell on top of him. But use it if very necessary, okay? Like this last case scenario, it's better to use a rage spell than to waste your Eternal Tome. And obviously, you need to be very careful and have a good eye on top of your super wizards. Very important to keep them alive, at least in the core. But other than that, an extremely powerful strategy. It works perfectly. It's just very nostalgic, and I feel like people playing the Town Hall 14 meta is going to love this attack. In conclusion, I really recommend this army, but only for the people who are very used to those smash attacks. It is definitely a very difficult army to learn and to master, but it is definitely possible, and it's very strong. You have to be careful for your Warden, and you have to be careful for your super wizards. But other than that, very powerful army. You finally can use the P.E.K.K.A. as a very strong unit. You can also use the super wizard as a very powerful cleanup troop, or more specifically in the core, destroying everything. It's just such a beautiful attack. It's very good, it's very powerful, very quick as well, which is the advantage. So glass cannon, that's the disadvantage, but the advantage, it is extremely quick. So that was the guide. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have a strategy in mind, let me know in the comments below. I could potentially do a strategy with this. And that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next guide.